The women I know with the biggest dreams aren't lazy. They're exhausted. They're answering emails in parking lots, taking notes while reheating the same cup of coffee 3 times, falling asleep with business ideas sitting in the notes app on their phone that they've been thinking about for 2 or 3 years. And every few months, they tell themselves the same thing.
When work slows down, I'll finally focus on my business.
But work rarely slows down. Life doesn't suddenly open up and hand you a bunch of free time. And one day you realize the thing you said you were going to build, it's been living in your head longer than some businesses have even existed. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. If you're new here, my name is Nick Scott and I'm the founder and CEO of Her Income Edit, where I help professional women turn their existing skills into coaching income, digital products, and online businesses. And today we are going to be talking about how to build a business while you are still working in your full-time 9 to 5. I'm talking about inside the life you already have. And I want you to stay with me until the end because the last thing I'm sharing is the mindset shift that separates women who keep preparing for years from the women who quietly build businesses that eventually replace their salaries. If you haven't yet figured out what your coaching business could even be yet, I want you to comment ideas down in the comments and I'll give you the link to my free guide, 101 Coaching Ideas, because clarity changes everything. Once you know what you're building, you stop feeling stuck and start moving different. So here's the truth nobody talks about enough. Most women don't fail to build because they lack talent. They fail because they keep waiting to feel ready while spending the best years of their energy building someone else's vision first. And the dangerous part about this is that waiting feels responsible, right? It feels practical, it feels safe, it even feels productive sometimes. But then 5 years pass and your life still depends on one paycheck. And that's the thing a lot of women feel, but they don't say. Not that they're incapable, it's that they're capable of more and they haven't given themselves permission to pursue anything yet. So the first thing most women say is,
I don't have time.
but if we're honest, that's usually not the full story. Because just like me, you make time for things that you believe will truly change your life. What most women don't have is certainty. They're afraid of spending precious energy building the wrong thing. They're afraid of putting effort into something that might not work. They're afraid of looking like a fool for even trying. So instead, you stay in research mode, consumption mode, preparation mode. You stay just busy enough to feel productive, but never exposed enough to grow. And that's a difficult place to stay because motion can disguise itself as avoidance for a very long time. So the issue is rarely the absence of time. The issue is usually hesitation disguised as logistics, because once a woman gets clear on what she wants to build and why it matters to her, she finds a way to move. Maybe not move perfectly or quickly, but she starts moving consistently. And consistency changes lives silently before it changes lives publicly. And here's something else worth thinking about. Most women have more discretionary time than they think they do. Now listen, I'm not saying you have endless time or 6 free hours of time every night, but most women can find 5 focused hours a week once they get honest about where their time is going. Think about it. How much time do you spend scrolling before bed? What about those Sunday afternoons that just suddenly disappear? How about your commute where you spend more time consuming than creating? Or your lunch break where you spend time mentally recovering from work? Listen, I'm not judging you. I just want to make you aware, because once you see where your time is going, you start to realize your schedule may not be as locked as it currently feels. 5 focused hours a week is 260 hours a year. And what I know is 260 focused hours is enough to build and sell your first coaching offer. But here's the part most productivity advice completely misses. When you're building while working full time, time isn't your only resource. Energy matters too. And energy is finite in a way that time isn't. You can wake up earlier, you can stay up later, but you can cannot produce quality work from constant exhaustion forever. And that's why building while employed isn't only about finding time, it's about protecting your best energy. So that hour before work may produce more than 3 drained hours after work. Your business deserves more than your leftovers. And this is worth being honest about. If you're coming home completely depleted every night, that's information. It might mean your current job is taking more than it should. It might mean you need to have a harder look at what's draining you and what you can protect. Because building a business on fumes is not sustainable. And it's not a character flaw if it isn't working. It just means you need a different strategy, not a stronger work ethic. So instead of asking, where can I squeeze this in? I want you to ask yourself, when am I mentally strongest? Then aggressively and fiercely protect that window. Because if you don't intentionally reserve energy for your future, your job will consume every last drop of it. The other thing keeping women stuck is trying to build all the things at one time. Like you're building your brand, your website, your logo, your content strategy, your email list, and your social media presence. And when all of that feels urgent, none of it gets finished. So if your time is limited, I want you to focus on this first. Build your offer before you build your audience. Because most women do this backwards. They spend months trying to grow followers before they've even decided what they're selling. But an audience without an offer is just attention, y'all. An offer that sells is what creates a business. And here's exactly what that means. Before you obsess over branding colors or your Instagram bio, I want you to get clear on 4 things. First of all, what problem do you solve? Secondly, who do you solve it for? Number 3, what changes after someone works with you? And number 4, what is that transformation worth? Because the answers to those questions, they matter far more than 6 months of inconsistent content creation. So start with your offer and then build your audience around it later. And here's something people don't say enough about building your business while you're working your 9 to 5. And that is you have an advantage because you can afford to say no. You don't have to accept terrible fit clients because you need your mortgage payment tomorrow. You don't have to panic launch random offers. You don't have to lower your prices out of fear. When you're working your 9 to 5, you can build carefully, strategically, with patience. And that is a very powerful place to be in because businesses that are built from desperation, they often become businesses that people end up resenting. When people need money like right now, they start abandoning their standards. They start overcommitting. They start underpricing. They start saying yes to clients they never should have accepted. But when you still have a stable income, you have room to think long term. You can build something sustainable instead of something urgent. And for many of us, that's the smarter path to take. Think about it this way. The woman who quits her job on a Monday and needs 5 clients by Friday is making decisions from fear. She's discounting. She's feeling desperate, and it shows. But the woman who still has a paycheck on Friday, she's negotiating, she's selective, she's building a reputation instead of just filling slots. That patience is an asset that most new business owners don't have, and you do. But the hardest part of building while working your 9 to 5 usually isn't the schedule, it's the identity shift. You spend all day operating as an employee. You're responding to priorities, you're managing expectations, you're helping build someone else's goals. And then at night, you're supposed to flip a switch, go into visionary mode for your own life. And that's not a small shift. One mindset follows instructions, the other creates direction. And after 8 or 9 hours in employee mode, that transition, it does not automatically happen. You have to create that transition intentionally. So maybe you take a walk after work. Maybe you have a playlist you listen to. Maybe it's 10 minutes of quiet time before you open your laptop again. Whatever the ritual is, it doesn't matter nearly as much as the message behind it. And the message to yourself, it should be,
for the next hour, my future deserves my attention too.
Because eventually something starts changing. You stop introducing your business like it's a little hobby that you're doing. You stop shrinking your ambition to make other people feel comfortable. You stop treating the thing that could literally change your life like it's optional. And here's the other thing about all this. Part of that shift is giving yourself permission to take your business seriously before it's making serious money. Because a lot of women women, they treat their businesses like it has to earn its place at the table first, like it needs to prove itself before they'll commit to it. But that is backwards, y'all. You commit first, the results will follow your belief. It's not the other way around, because deep down, you know something your environment may not fully understand yet, and that is you weren't only meant to maintain a life, you were meant to build a life. So what does working full-time actually look like? It looks like deciding your future deserves more than leftover dreams and occasional motivation. It looks like building one offer instead of trying to build an entire empire overnight. It looks like protecting a few focused hours every week and using those hours to create something that belongs to you. And what you're building, it doesn't have to be perfect or polished. It just needs to be real, because that's how most successful businesses start. Not with some dramatic leap, but with consistent movement. And if you're ready to stop preparing and finally build your first coaching offer, I want you to go get 2K in 2 hours, because most women already have valuable skills. The problem is they don't know how to package them into something that people will pay for. 2K in 2 hours walks you through that exact process step by step, so you can build an offer that's clear, strategic, and ready to sell. Not months from now, right now. The link for 2K in 2 hours is down in the description, or you can go to my website at herincomeedit.com/2K. Here's what I know. A year from now, you're still going to be busy. Your job will still demand things from you. Life will still be lifing, and there will still be reasons for you to wait. But you can either spend the next year consuming information and thinking about the business you want, or you can spend the next year building your business. And those two decisions create completely different lives, because eventually there comes a time when staying where you are becomes more uncomfortable than finally betting on yourself. And most women, they wait for that moment. The smart ones, they build before they have to. And if you're still trying to figure out what kind of coaching business makes sense from your skills, watch this video next. It'll help you identify the knowledge, experience, and strengths you already have that could become income. Okay? I'll see you in the next one.